Welcome to the shit show.
Tom, it is the All Elite Wrap-Up for July 3rd, 2025, which for some reason I have written in my notes as 2028. This is wishful thinking, man. I was trying to fast forward several years. Hey, it's July 3rd, Tom. You celebrating America tomorrow?
No, I'm going to a baseball game.
That's celebrating America.
Not really.
No, not doing that.
Well, you know why? You know why it's definitely not celebrating America? I'm going to the Kansas City Monarchs. Not the Royals, the Monarchs. And you want to know where the Kansas City Monarchs got their name? Because of segregation, because they were in the Negro Leagues. Now, obviously, this is a integrated team. But yeah, no, I do not celebrate. Here's the thing. I don't celebrate the independence of any fucking thing. I don't give a shit. Like, as far as countries, I don't care. Canada Day was yesterday, right? Wasn't it yesterday? Canada Day was yesterday or the day before? Yeah. I don't give a shit. I don't care. The only people that benefit from that are people that don't affect me.
So I have never, ever cared about, like, oh, it's American Independence Day, right? Like, oh, I'm celebrating America on July 4th ever. If I ever felt that when I was younger, I don't remember that or, you know what I mean, internalize that. And I even served in the military.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You have more reason to of the two of us,
Now, but what I did do was the traditional growing up Midwestern things, and we did the fireworks and the get-togethers and the barbecues. But even at that, now it feels dirty. Right? Like, I don't, I mean, not to make this a political rant, but I'm kind of like, nope. We've got a good spot for watching fireworks. Like, where we're at, we're on a hill, we can see 50, 70 things, but so we'll do that. I'm not going to lie, like, we'll do that.
Well, but that's the thing. If you applied the celebration of 4th of July to Arbor Day, everyone would fucking love Arbor Day. No one gives a shit about this, except for
they
don't even really don't. They don't either. So it's fuck off. I'm happy that people have the day off. I have the day off. It's nice to have.
Yeah, don't hear me. I enjoy a federal holiday, right? We need more of those. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. If Arbor Day or whatever day was celebrated in the same way, everyone would love that fucking holiday just as much.
At my job, we work with the contracting company that contracts folks out of Bogota, Colombia. And they have a lot of holidays there in Colombia. And so much that, like, when they showed, like, all right, here's the next holidays over the next year for everybody. They had the America side and the Colombian side. And it was like 10 to 22. I was like, get the fuck, man. I'm moving. I was like, God damn it. Proud to be a Colombian.
The team that I work for is based in India. So they were like, so tomorrow's your day? I'm like, yep. They're like, oh, interesting. I'm like, yeah, so I'm not going to answer any. My day. But so they're going to cover for me for tomorrow. Hey, but fuck all that shit. I want people to know, if you've been watching long enough this podcast stream, you know that at one time we were both doing backgrounds and that was fun, but then eventually it's like it came a lot, so we just, now you have a great background because you have a green screen that's kind of permanent and I don't, so just all that shit, right? So you've noticed the Chiefs stuff, right? Well, over here was Eddie Kingston, and he's still up here, but I moved him down there because that is a signed photo from Sting. That's what I did this weekend. I met Sting, and you can go get this book at hybridshoot.com. I got The Way of the Blade, the bloodiest matches in AEW history. And look who was on that fucking cover, huh? Look at that.
That's awesome artwork too.
Oh yeah, and it's all throughout too. It's a and if you like combat of pro wrestling or
the
MMA,
sound effects really made that film. Yeah.
I've been watching. Oh, I'll tell you that.
So
part
realistic.
Too. Yeah. But Hybrid Shoot, if you're a fan of violence of pro wrestling or MMA kind, get that. This is their publishing
Strictly
company.
the wrestling and MMA kind. If you're a fan of violence of most other kinds, we don't.
If you're a fan of non-consensual violence, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of two people consenting to violence, fuck yeah. That's been my rule.
We need a shirt or something, right? If you're a fan of non-consensual violence, fuck you. If you're a fan of, what'd you say, like
two consenting adults.
Two consenting adults or more. Fuck
yeah.
Yeah. We got some folks in the chat, Tom. We got Theo P75. This is USA AEW podcast. Put me through a table and I got this epic concussion. And Bo B, who I think may be new to the chat, said, same Tom when you were talking about how I'm not celebrating America.
I don't celebrate the make believe lines that individuals just wanted to create.
But let me tell you what you do need to celebrate coming up in 3 weeks' time. This is to you, Tom, and to everybody watching / listening later. By the way, you can listen later if you're not catching us live on the YouTube like we do every week at Thursday, precisely on the dot 7:15-ish
every time.
Every time. Check us out on allelitewrapup.com for all those details each and every week. Subscribing is free. We don't spam you. We don't sell your info, anything like that. But what you do need to celebrate, Tom, in 3 weeks' time, on January 24th, 2025.
Come on.
Is the 12-year anniversary to the date of Tim and Tom.
Yeah.
Right? Of us presenting, of us having published presentation of us to you, 12-year anniversary. And you're in luck if you go to allelitewrapup.com and hit the podcast link. You scroll and you keep scrolling and you keep scrolling, almost 700 pieces of content down to that very first one. You could listen to that tonight.
It is bad.
It's not our best work. It's not our best work. It might be some of our best audio quality sound because we were at the Evil Corporation there. And then we went to breaks.
Consider. Actually, I did like the breaks because remember, I would always do some stupid fun fact.
That's
remember
true.
That?
Yeah, you had a fun fact out the breaks. So the formatting of the breaks was fun, but I look now and I see people doing like podcasts and stuff on YouTube's and they're like, well, we're going to take a break. And I'm like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You can edit later.
I can understand if you're doing it live and we're like, hey, we just need a drink of water and I don't have any. Okay, whatever. But come right back. But we're going to be gone for 2.5 minutes. Fuck you. You're not playing ads, assholes.
Yeah. But we will be live, Tom, on the 12-year anniversary of that show, doing what we do, talking about pro wrestling with you, the fans. Get it at us on the chat. Bo, if you're still here with us, we want folks to chime in all night as we're talking about these things. Give us your thoughts, your opinions, ask us questions, whatever. If you have more stuff that can fit into that, right, you can also find us on the blue sky. Just search for All Elite Wrap Up. Tom's out there hammering away. Usually, sometimes I step in. And you can send us an email, aewrapup@gmail.com. Typed, audio, video. We'll play it here and discuss it here. As long as you're not being a weirdo. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Hey, 12-year anniversary coming up in a couple weeks. But last night, AEW had an anniversary of their 300th episode of Dynamite. Look at that. It's still got some radio in me. So let's talk about that from last night. Yeah, of course. Seamless. It took place in Ontario, California, which I learned was a place in America. I always thought that was Canada. And we kick it off.
Well, there is an Ontario in Canada.
Right, but that's when I thought that was the only one.
Well, when they say Ontario, CA, I thought they meant in Canada. I was like, oh, they're going to Canada. And then I was like, nope.
No. Yeah.
Nope.
So I learned that that's a town in America. But we kick it off. I don't know where this took place.
Still skeptical, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I also
it's the granddaddy of them all, Tom.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. I don't have it on here on my rundown. I also, speaking of like, I don't know if it actually exists. I don't actually know if Rancho Cucamonga is a real town. That sounds like something out of a Doug cartoon.
I think it is.
Okay, it's not.
But what it is it's like a bodega front for something really going on.
Yeah,
even if the physical location exists.
Rancho
something
Cucamonga.
Ain't right about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the newest Taco Bell item coming out next month. Like, that ain't a fucking town.
Bo says he was there yesterday and still thought it was Canada.
Yeah, see? There you go. Bo, Tell us how
I'm
last
saying
night
he.
went.
I'm assuming a gender. So correct
He
me if
or
I'm
she,
wrong.
they.
Yeah,
How about that? They.
They. Right. Yes, they.
If you were there, or I guess since you were there, let us know throughout this what was cool, what was not. But
Theo
we'll
was 30
talk
minutes
about.
away from Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, okay. I'm 20
Pixar
minutes
didn't
away.
happen.
Yeah.
Now with AI, you can't even do. Like, I don't
Yeah, yeah. I don't believe nothing.
I could send a picture of you tonight of me in Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
Don't exist.
Well, fuck. Right now, aren't you at the AEW arena?
Yeah. Then watch this. Then I'm in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep.
Well,
now I'm back in another arena.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. See, you're
Arrowhead again. Yeah.
10 minutes away from everything. Hey, but all right. So Hangman kicks off the episode, and he said, I told everyone that I'm going to go through death itself to become champion. And so with that being said, Moxley, you prick, give me Texas Death. And Moxley says, oh, I'll come out. And here's where it got a little weird. He says, you don't want this. You don't even want to be the champion. Now, I get the whole part of you don't want to be the champion because once you had it, maybe you didn't like it. You don't want to do that again. You're just telling yourself that you do, but you actually don't, right? But you don't want Texas Death. It's not something you walk away from. Hey, Moxley, he hung you in the last time you guys had a Texas Death match. He won and he hung you. You tapped out.
That's the part that really bothered me about the whole thing is he kept acting like you only want this because you know it'll make you fail and make you lose. So that's what you're really after in some weird way. But why would that be a given considering the last time there was a Texas Death match?
Yeah.
He won.
If the results were different, if Moxley would have won that match, I would have been like, that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like we could have got a similar point across from Moxley without that, right? Like saying like, oh, you think what happened last time is going to happen again is not the case. You know what I mean? Like, don't think you're going to one-up me because I'm going to actually bring you Texas Death.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, everybody knows Texas Death is worse than any other death.
Brother, I've been going real deep into some gangs of America. I'll tell you, O Block is a place is way worse than Texas Death. O Block on the south side of Chicago. Woo, motherfucker.
No. There's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of places to die in a really shitty way, but
oh my God.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go. So Anthony dared me. He's like, dude, just take a picture in front of it and then like go as fast as you can. I'm like, maybe.
Can't go fast enough. You cannot go fast enough.
There's a mural of King Von. If you don't know who King Von is, after you're done listening to us, look him up on YouTube. His best friend, Little Dirk, who you might know, who's a famous rapper, won some Grammys. They come from the O Block. And they have a mural of King Von on the south side of Chicago. And that's what I want to take a picture next to. But there's one guy who did the middle finger because he didn't like King Von. 2 weeks later, he was shot, killed in front of it. So I'm not going to do that part. Anyhow.
Do you know YouTube's telling us now that we've got fan rankings? Theo P sitting here at the #1 fan.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
Yep.
Look at that. Number one, Theo.
A little crown and a #1 next to Theo.
There it is. All right, so we get Moxley, we get Hangman. They're talking that shit, and then here comes the Death Riders. And the Death Riders, they're gonna beat up an old Hangman, right? Beat up, right? And then Hangman gets the kind of the upper hand. Moxley and Marina Shafir leave the ring, right? And I guess actually the Death Riders kind of took it to Hangman. They kind of leave, going like, fuck that chump, right?
Yeah.
But then that's when Hangman's like, you bitch, give me Texas Death. Yeah.
Give me Texas Death, yeah.
And so then Moxley's like, oh, I'll give you death right now. And he walks up, and then the ops.
Yeah, I'll give you not Canada death right now.
Yeah. And then the ops stop him and like, what's up, bitch?
I like that because, Joe just kind of like slowly walks in front of Claudio, and he's like, what up, bitch?
Yeah. And so then
Joe has the best way of that, right? Like not being the, I'm ready to kill you, but just being like, hey, pal, We know this is about to, you know what I mean? Like, this is about to explode in violence, right?
Yep. And so we get the fun, right? Then we get a knockdown, drag out, boom, boom, bop.
We get Powerhouse Hobbs.
Powerhouse Hobbs, Shibata, all the fun stuff. Well, it ends with Hangman essentially saying, hey, Moxley, if you don't think that I won't go to any, length to do this, watch this shit. And he does the old buckshot lariat on Marina Shafir.
Yeah, so the story in there earlier, so they set that up where she's slapping him earlier, right?
Yeah.
Slapping him, and everybody's like, just do it, right? Like, at some point, hear me out. Because I'm about gender equality, ladies, you hit a guy 7-8 times in a row, I've lost any empathy if he hits you back. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those, like, at some point you have to, like, at some point, you know what I mean? It's one of those, like, when you poke the bear too long, right? So, everybody's rooting for that, but Hangman, being the good guy that Hangman is deep down, right, is like, I'm not going to do anything about it. And then when she tries to hit him with the old briefcase, the old title in a briefcase, right? Everybody knows that. He ducks and gets it, and that's how he's like, oh, you want this? You got to give me Texas Death. But then, it did strike me as a little bit odd where if somebody was watching this the first time, essentially Hangman was like, you want to see how crazy I am? You want me to prove it? Watch me hit a girl. It's like, well... Yeah, like, all right.
Okay, yeah, all right, sure.
I guess you mean business.
Yeah. It was interesting.
But so here's when you watch this story, though, you're like, yeah, right. Yeah.
So here's my thought. This is a thought I had before we started recording that I said, oh, I just thought of this. We were doing this thing, and we'll get to the second half of what I am confused about. We were doing this thing that Will Ospreay was going to help defend and help Hangman beat Jon Moxley and the Death Riders.
He was going to unite Swerve Strickland and Hangman for the common good.
The only people I saw out there helping Hangman were the Ops.
Yeah, we seem to have just
kind of drifted
to
away.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because Swerve and Hangman this week were in the building at the same time.
Yeah, I think it may still rear its head. We may get a little bit to deal with it next week, and then I think they may want us to forget about it, right? So that way when Ospreay comes out to help, we're like, oh, yeah. And then when it still looks all is lost, Swerve comes out to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That could make sense. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that we suspended Swerve last week so that he wouldn't have to come out and help Hangman. Right. But then this week, they're both in the building at the same time. Yeah. And so did Will Ospreay, right?
Maybe he was like, oh, I'm going to help. And he's like, oh, look, Joe's out there.
Yeah.
Joe and Hobbs and Shibata.
Yeah. Well, and it was 3-on-2, right? Because Moxley was like, I'm not fighting. So
yeah,
like,
maybe look, I got a match.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was it. Maybe Ospreay was like, we got to go help. And Swerve was like, fuck you, man. I told you, fuck that guy. You better, we got a match tonight, dog.
He's like, oh, okay.
He's like, yeah, maybe we're done if you go out there and help him instead of playing for this shit. They could have showed us that.
That's what I was wanting. Something that tells me what the fuck, right? But we didn't get it, so I guess we'll just TBD that until next week. But we get into some in-ring action next, because for the AEW TBS Championship, it is your champion, Mercedes Moné, taking on Mina Shirakawa. And these two always have a fun match, right? This is like the third or fourth time recently that they've had that old wrestle match.
Yeah.
And they were doing good. So let's cut to again.
Great match. Honestly.
Great match.
Really done. Yeah.
A lot of fun. We all knew kind of what was going to happen here at the end. Mercedes gets the roll-up victory. But I want your thoughts on, throughout this match, Toni Storm looked as if she just forgot that her house was burned down by Hangman.
a sudden stark difference in Toni Storm, right? Which I know that's what they're trying to hit, is that like Toni Storm is now a little worried about the proficiency of Mercedes Moné, right? But I don't recall anything that should have been the impetus to kick that off, right? Like to make her suddenly be like, oh shit, I've got a real one here.
The only thing potentially that I could think with that thought in mind was how last week Toni Storm was going to walk out to the ring from the backstage, and Mercedes like fucking. But how many times did Mariah May do that to her?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Murder her with a shoe.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah,
George
we
Bush was
need
better at
something.
dodging the shoe than Tony Storm was, as it seems.
Oh man, what a fun moment. What
He
a
even
fun
like
moment in this. Yeah.
it was like, oh shit,
But-
shoes coming in.
uh, yeah.
Two of
He
them.
owned.
Honestly, he ducked
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah, he owned a baseball team. He was probably used to wives throwing shoes after their husband
He
got
knows how to
traded.
cover too. He
Huh!
doesn't know how to,
Huh! Yeah.
keep Americans safe. But all
Nope. But yeah.
right.
But he can dodge a shoe. All right. So post match, Mercedes Moné's like, I'm gonna still keep kicking Mina's ass. Or she's putting the stomp, stomp, stomp. And then Tony Storm's like, all right, fine, I'll intervene. And then again, and I don't care. Let me say that on the front end. I do not care what anyone does, as long as it's consensual. Like I've said, staying consistent with that. But are Mina and Tony Storm dating in kayfabe? Because it's weird, not weird, but it's like overly like they have to be face to face kind of thing. So are we just saying they're a couple? Because again, fine, I don't care. But like
it's one thing to understand that some people just have a magnetism towards each other where it's like you get them in the same room, they're not going to get their hands off each other. You'll see.
Is that this?
But is that this? Yeah, you're not telling me. Is that this? Maybe, Tom, I was telling you offline that I was thinking about something that kept changing colors at the rate of Ultimate Warrior's title belts, and maybe it was Mercedes Moné's hair.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I was talking about, right?
Yeah. My God. That's why her hairline starts back at her behind her ears. Keep on doing that shit to your head, fuck up. But yeah, so Tony Storm is like, oh, Mina. And then Mercedes is like, you dumb idiot, and hits her upside the head.
So Tony Storm Diego follows Mercedes Moné across the globe, scares the shit out of her, whispering in her ear or smelling her or whatever she does, and then gives her the old sack of shit throw, and then Mercedes Moné gets retribution, but like suddenly Tony Storm is shell shocked and concerned about her loved ones. Like it's a little departure from normalcy from this character that is not normal, but
Can I tell you a secret time what I think's happening?
Is this a ruse? Is she acting?
Well, that would be great because then that would make more sense. What I thought as soon as this segment was over was I feel that Tony Khan's newest best friend, Mercedes Moné, was like, you know how we can make this story better is if we told it this way. And now, because Mercedes, and not to say that she needs to know the history of everything, is not familiar with the history of the Tony Storm character, is like, yeah, of course it would make sense. But people who have been in it each and every week were like, what the fuck is this? And so it felt like someone got in the ear of the decision maker and was like, I think it should be told this way. And I
look scary. People need to think I'm,
Well, I mean, doesn't this kind of feel like a WWE thing this week, right? Like, doesn't that feel very...
It felt easy writing. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony Storm gets laid out. Mercedes then rolls out to the ring. She throws champagne in Luther's face. And then she's like, I'm the best, bitch. And then she walks off. She looks the coolest. Tony Storm looks like a dope. So then we get to see our EVPs. And they're back, returning to their roots in a fictional place. Yeah, in the fictitious place of Rancho Cucamonga, California. I'm not even sure if California is real. And they're saying, we're going to celebrate Dynamite 300. We're a stone's throw away from the old stomping grounds. Isn't this great? We got a cheap looking fucking limo.
They got Tony Khan to pay for a limo, but they put decals all over that thing.
Get it wrapped. It doesn't take that.
But I think that's part of the
maybe that's what it
played
is.
That up is that like that thing looked like shit.
Yeah, that looked really, really bad. So they do this thing where they get
Taz
in.
Called them stickers.
I mean, they look like stickers. Yeah. So they kick off their drive to the arena.
This does indicate that like they're like, hey, we got this idea. Somebody's got to contact a local sign company that can make us a bunch of decals printed up with this image. Somebody work up that image. I'm going to call them. You know what that means is like they've already got orders. So you got to like will overpay like you got to give them an offer they can't refuse. They probably paid thousands of dollars for this limo and decal situation. They're going to throw those fucking decals in a truck somewhere and get lost.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You would have done better going to a local muffler shop and having those guys do it, because that shit was ass. But they do the...
You know what I mean? Like, some poor schmuck is like, has to do all that. They give somebody that assignment, like, get us a limo and get it outfitted with a bunch of decals and make it look like shit.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, well,
fuck.
Let's hope that's what they said.
By the way, you're in Rancho Cucamonga, a fictional place.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hope they said make it look shitty, because if someone was like, I'm proud of that work, you shouldn't be. But yes, before they get their way to the arena, we go through this nostalgic drive through their fictitious Neverland Ranch fucking town.
Taz took exception to their school and that bear on the pole.
Yeah, I don't fucking like that. And then he's like, remember when you told this person to suck it and you got ridden up and and then there's nothing like a stretch limousine driving you around old poor community, right? They said that, and I wanted to just flaunting your wealth. Yeah, that was the other part of it. Nope. I know what we're trying to do, and I'm okay with it. Generally speaking, nope.
Yeah, I don't think you guys pulled it off quite as well as you.
Well, I'm just saying maybe not that tone right now. Yeah, maybe let's give it a couple weeks, because we didn't make 9/11 jokes on 9/12.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
This is a fictional place, so
right. That's true. Yeah. It's like who's those the nerdy book series where they like were wizards? They wore like capes and stuff.
The Harry Potter.
Yeah, where were they from? That place.
I haven't seen any of that shit.
Yeah, I've been to the actual town it was based off of, Edinburgh in Scotland. Beautiful place.
So
I would move
fake,
there.
Like
that was real, but the place that I was referred to is fake, just like Rancho Cucamonga. Okay,
pretty sure the Young Bucks are from Boise.
Don't they seem like Boise?
Yeah, they seem Boise.
It's like, you know what I love? Potatoes. Yeah, totally Boise. Boise.
Idaho has the best culture. Like,
definitely for you two. So next up, we get a in-ring action.
Like Utah, if I'm being really honest. They seem like Utah,
no,
Salt Lake City.
No, you know why they don't? They don't? I don't think they're that confident talking to women. And the stereotype of Mormons is that they have multiple women. And nope.
Yeah,
nope.
You don't think they went on a mission trip? You don't think they were door
don't think they could do that. Nope.
In the right to censor get up?
Yeah, nope. They seem like Boise. Yep.
Yeah, Boise. All right.
A good old, it's a simple thing that you can brag about that no one really gives a shit about, much like the EVP's matches. So next up, we go into I'm kidding. Next up, we go into a 4-way match. And Tim, I love your thumbnail that you picked for this episode.
Yeah.
I tried to recreate it with my action figures, speaking of nerd shit, but I did it much bloodier. They should have done it this way. Look at that.
Should have been wearing the chain.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Because we get MJF, AR Fox, Brody King, and for some reason, Anthony Bowens.
He looked out of place here.
He's starting to feel out of place. You know who he feels like? Now, he has some things that you could work with, and I think he is a better wrestler, and he's younger and all of that stuff. He feels like Scorpio Sky, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, okay, you can do the snap, right? Scorpio Sky did the snap. Remember, hey, I'm done with this.
Yeah,
segment.
But I feel like he's got the early markings of like, you're about to get the Rocky Maivia turn on you, man. We're about to start being like, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
I will say that song rules, though. I do get a little excited when
Yeah, that's not going to help us start booing it. But like, this is nothing. It's literally nothing. This is nothing but some words. 5 tools, 1 rule. You got a bunch of shit to say, and you're doing nothing.
Well, but now, if you noticed last night, they introduced him as the Pride of Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
We're done with Pride Month because now, companies aren't gay anymore. But he said, fuck that. I'm still gay. Pride of Pro Wrestling. So maybe that's where we're going.
I also just think the getup is weird.
Yeah.
When you come out with that weird cut off halter top thing going on.
Yeah.
When you take that off, you look fine. You look like a wrestler, but
yep.
Whatever that is not a good look. And man, he looks like when you're doing Create a Wrestler and it's like head 3, right? And it's just, there's nothing here. We need something that he's saying or doing to be dripping with personality because his look doesn't necessarily have that. That's not to say he looks bad. He looks like $1 million, but he doesn't look like a charismatic, cool guy. He doesn't stick out as different. He doesn't look overly aggressive. He just
looks like that guy.
Just looks like that guy.
Yep. But you know who does not look like that guy and got a huge reaction was, as I just mentioned, Brody King. We were all barking with him. I mean, at one point at the start of the match, and this is a match that has MJF in it.
Yeah.
Everyone was barking to the point where he's like, "You guys hear that? Hey, everyone, did you guys hear that? That's just for me."
Well, and Brody King from nearby too, an actual legit place in California, but
probably Los Angeles. But so he was over. I thought they did the thing where they stacked the 3 guys, and he did the cannonball into all 3 guys. As you mentioned, we did the choke, the recreating the Darby spot, and that's one thought I had too. That's how you know that Darby really is a fucking psychopath, is because MJF also did this spot. But you could tell MJF was like, I'm not letting you really choke me for this long. And Darby was like, keep going.
Choke me, yeah.
Just
kind of like
it's
it.
fine.
Yeah.
And drop me. And I'm not gonna brace the fall. Just go ahead,
Just when I go limp, drop me. By the way, please do, or I'm gonna actually die because I'm just gonna let you choke me. But
that was when I was like, okay, definitely Darby. Because we think sometimes you can overdo it, especially as a pro wrestler. But then it's like, shot for shot, there's 2 moves. One person looked like he was actually dying, Darby. The other person thought it was a pro wrestling move, which was still cool, right? It was still fun to do. But so we got all the fun stuff. Boom, bop, boom, boom, boom. And guess who wins? Tim? MJF. He makes AR Fox tap out to the Salt of the Earth submission. And there we go. He is going to be in the 2nd spot for the Casino Battle Royal. So before I get your thoughts on the match and the ending here, how are you feeling about the Casino Battle Royal? Are you hyped? Are you thinking, oh boy, this is going to be some top level shit? Or what's your thoughts?
I'm hyped in the way that, that match is going to be a spectacle when we watch it, right? I need to see the more complete list before I know how I feel like this story is going to unfold, right? And who actually has a shot at winning this and whatever. I mean, MJF is a strong candidate in anything. So, but, and then on the women's side, I don't think we've done a whole lot in building up that story either. And we're running out of time.
I will say on the men's side, we do have this built-in feud because MJF's coming in at the 2 spot. Coming in at the 1 spot was the guy who interrupts the Hurt Syndicate, Mark Briscoe. And this is another thing that I thought was super odd, is Mark Briscoe says, hey, even though, and he didn't say this part, but like, even though we're talking right now, next week, I'm going to challenge you to win. It's like, you guys both have microphones right now.
Yeah.
Talk now. Because that would have been, again, Tony Khan, fucking hire me. Jesus Christ. Little easiest thing you could have done here is you have everything be the same. Mark Briscoe walks out and he goes, MJF, it's time for me to talk. And the Hurt Syndicate goes, no thanks, hit our music. And he's like, you motherfucker. He's like, yeah, no thanks. And he's like, talk to, and then MJF could be like, I don't know, talk to me next week. I just got done wrestling, loser. And then that's when Mark Briscoe's like, all right, then motherfucker, I'll see you next week. And then he could leave. But just to say, hey, next week, even though we're talking now, and bye. What the fuck was that?
Yeah. The only thing I thought was cool was when Mark Briscoe was like, all right, so you're number 2, so that just guaranteed you a monstrous ass whooping, if not for a brief moment in time.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Again,
Yeah,
I think less is more with the Mark Briscoe, right? Like, let's get a line or two in.
Yeah, I thought he did fine. I thought the logic didn't make sense. Now, if he picked the logic, shame on him. But I guess I would think he didn't. It was the logic behind everything. Because then, he goes, all right, little pickle, I'll see you next week. Why would you leave?
Yeah, but they wanted to get that out because they're gonna sell that shirt and probably sell well because
I mean, you could have said Mark Briscoe couldn't make it.
We like body shaming people in this country, so the shirt's gonna
love it. Yes. You could have just said, hey, I couldn't make it this week because you canceled my flight or MVP, but next week, MJF, I'm going to see you. Like, that could have been the way you did it, but I don't know.
What
so
I'm
anyhow.
saying, everyone, is that it's hurtful when you make fun of people with small male genitalia, okay? Okay? It's hurtful.
Yeah. It's also hurtful to make fun of things that people don't have any control over. Like I mentioned last week.
Yeah, like small male genitalia, okay?
Or I just want to be 6'3". I would love to be 6'3". If you're like, oh, you're not 6'3". I know. It hurts. You don't have to tell me. If I could pick it, I would. I'd be 6'3".
I wish I was a little bit taller.
Yeah.
I wish I was a baller.
Yeah.
I wish I had a... All right.
So after Mark Briscoe says, all right, LOL, bye-bye, Jet Speed comes out. And they say, we ain't doing no talking. We're kicking your ass. And they run in there, and we're going, pop, 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 pop. But did something happen to where the Hurt Syndicate got the upper hand? I was looking through, and I was watching it again. And
I forget where they got the upper hand here, but they,
Does MVP do something? That must
something, but they murder Jet Speed.
So then they murder him.
4-on-2, so.
Yeah. They murder him. Jet Speed gets up. We're not dead. Okay, we'll kill you. Still not dead. This bothered me
a little bit because this is, again, where we talk about there's not a single person looking at every segment because that's what Hangman did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you didn't kill me yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes sense for Hangman because it's a Texas death match.
Right.
This is just, I don't know. So, yeah, we did copy paste on the Excel spreadsheet for 2 of these segments.
And I mean, look, I think what this did do is give Kevin Knight some mic time here and, gets him a good spot. The shoeless Mike Bailey thing, I'm just not sold on much. So I don't view them as like this viable tag team moving forward. I don't think it didn't make me think like, they've got to shut up winning these tag team titles. Like it's fine. But
well, it's a thing that we're still trying to catch lightning in a bottle again because it worked once. If you remember, in the hardcore match between The Undertaker and Jeff Hardy, Undertaker fucking killed Jeff Hardy, and then Jeff Hardy, with his little squeaky voice, is like, I'm not dead yet. And Undertaker's like, you motherfucker. And then just like raises his hand and is like, all right, this motherfucker's not that bad. And it feels like we're just trying to get that feeling again.
Yeah.
No, that's ain't it. It was funny that Kevin Knight did bring up Shelton Benjamin's mama, because that's probably the most famous storyline he's been in, besides this one.
Which is great. Yeah, I thought that was a nice little plug, because then, that kind of pissed Shelton Benjamin off. He's like, oh, you really fucking think? Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So I thought that was fun. But then, we're just going to get at
Shelton
All
Benjamin
In.
has showed more personality in this AEW run, even with showing next to none still. But it's shown so much more.
Well, he did an interview that I saw that he said Tony Khan gave his career a second life, or however he phrased it. So, I mean, maybe we are seeing something better out of him because he's feeling better about it.
To backtrack a little, to get back up here, every time I see AR Fox, I think about the RJ City AEW when he did Prisoner Wrestling, right? And it's just stuck in my brain because it was so hilarious. And now here we are again, like that MVP and Hurt Syndicate AEW was one of the best pieces of any kind of media you'll ever consume.
Yeah,
and
they were like,
enough.
and they were like, Bobby's the nice guy. He's like, yeah, I'm the nice one. Yeah, thought that was fun.
RJ City knew how to while still playing like nervous and afraid, but still knowing how to fuck with them so bad.
Yeah, he's
so great, masterful work. He's
needs
amazing. They should
more
pay
of
him
him.
whatever they need to maintain him.
Yeah. They need to keep, I mean, not to get on step 700 here, but if you made him a manager opposite Stokely Hathaway with just two teams that you didn't talk,
Big Stoke.
that would be your mid-card best segment of the week every show. Just those two guys finding ways to fuck with the other one. The two teams don't say shit, right? FTR, obviously, they can just be. I will say, FTR as heels, thumbs up. They are way better heels than baby faces. But yeah, if you gave RJ City jet speed and they're like, because even then he could like make fun of. He's like, we had to come up with a pro wrestling tag team name. What the fuck did you think I was going to come up with? It's jet speed, for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Look, I gave you guys a couple of pricing tiers, and this is the one you chose. All right, I'm not putting that much effort into.
Yeah, doing something like that. Yeah, but yeah. So at All In, Hurt Syndicate, jet speed, and then we keep it moving, and we get our first sponsored match, sponsored by the movie Superman. Are you going to watch Superman?
Nope. Mostly because I just don't really watch a whole lot of them. Like, I haven't seen a movie in theaters in I don't know how long.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you not like the the surround sound, amazing atmosphere?
No, that's cool. I think I've fallen out of love with a lot of media and storytelling these days. There's not any good stories being told. And like, you know.
Well, there is, but I get what you're saying in this regard because I kind of want to see it for this reason. They're introducing a dog, and you know I love dogs, so I want to see Crypto.
Want to support the dog.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I'm tired of, before we get into this match, I'm tired of the origin story movie. Fucking, we get it. They're a superhero. Let's tell it from that point. I don't need them to realize they got fucking spidey senses or whatever the fuck. Yeah, you know, they know that they're Spider-Man. They know that they're whatever. Get to the fucking...
Yeah, we are prime Superman in this story.
Yeah,
here.
That's what I want to see. Like, the most interesting superhero movies were those ones towards the tail end when it was like, oh no, they all know who the fuck they are. And they got to admit, fuck with that guy.
I recall when I was younger really liking the Batman movie, and they didn't need to tell me how he became the Batman.
But they tell you every fucking time, every 4 years, new Batman. How did he become Batman? Motherfucker. How did he kill the Joker? Like, tell me that part.
You ever seen those things about how why Batman's not like he's a villain?
He's a Republican's wet dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking fuck Batman. He's not even a superhero. He doesn't even have superpowers. He's just
not
rich.
Even real like Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, that's probably fucking hometown. Yeah, he doesn't have a superpower. He's just rich. That doesn't make...
He's just rich. Yeah.
And we've learned from rich people that, generally speaking, they're fucking dumb. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. 70% of fucking wealth is inherited, you cocksuckers. Stop fucking trying to tell me that if you work hard, you get shit. No, the fuck you don't.
By the way, that phrase was meant to ridicule the idea that you can do so, because it's physically impossible to pull oneself up by its bootstraps. Like that literal phrase was literally meant to make fun of the idea that you can pull yourself up out of these situations that you're in, just with effort.
That's interesting. I never knew that. I like, you know what we should do one week?
The phrase is literally meant to be the opposite of what they use it as. It's so insane.
Well, that's how like Yankees became a thing that we adopted as like, oh, it's actually a term of endearment. It's like, actually the British were saying that because they thought we fucking sucked. We should do that if there's not a Dynamite 1 week, still do an episode and just go through like things like that. Because the other thing that I think is funny is people think it's an insult when someone calls you like a Nimrod, like fucking Nimrod, right? That's not an insult. Well, it's an insult, but it's not originally an insult. Nimrod was the most accurate shooter from the Bible. So when Bugs Bunny was calling Elmer Fudd Nimrod because he kept missing him every time, he was fucking making fun of him every time. But everyone thought like, oh, you're dumb Nimrod. It's like Nimrod was a character from the Bible.
Nimrod was the demeaning term, but it wasn't. It was like calling you somebody better, clearly better at what you're doing.
Yes, exactly.
It's like if you missed the soccer goal kick, they'd call you Pele, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is exactly it. Look at that. What, you motherfuckers, tell me another goddamn podcast that would have gave you that last 25 to 35 seconds. Nobody. And we went.
Andrea in the chat here, who I think is new, says, happy 300 episodes, Dynamite.
Yeah.
And speaking of happy anniversaries, 3 weeks time on July 24th, we are doing our 12-year anniversary. Obviously, we've been doing a wrestling podcast or something like that for 12 years, AEW since the start of 2024. But yeah, check that
we've been
out
talking about men, women.
Keep talking to us in the chat as we. Yeah.
Yes, we have been talking about men, women, and everything in between. Pro wrestling in some form.
Pretend fighting in their underwear.
Yep, pretend fighting in their clothing for the last coming up on 12 years. All right, let's get back on track because now we talked about.
Do you think you would still know me 12 years when we met? You're like, this
Brother,
guy's gonna be an integral part of my life.
All right, I'll ask you a real question because you obviously and Theo would know the answer to this too because he's a day one.
He's been there the whole 12 years.
Yeah. Did you think I'd be alive 12 years later? How many times have I almost died during this podcast?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's the neck
injury. I never considered that you might not be here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, because there's the neck injury, there's the spider bite, there was the gun pulled on me in Houston.
Multiple times, you said.
Yeah, multiple times, twice. Yeah, twice I got a gun pulled on me.
You were only there like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it didn't take long. Yeah, there was a tumor. I got a lot of shit.
Yeah.
That one time I showed up with my
neck injury, spider assassination, gun pointed at T-Mac, Theo says. The tumor.
The time my tooth got chipped off because I thought I could do the Macho Man elbow from one table to the other.
One time
at a
you were
nightclub?
taking expired medications for something? And
I
was like, dude, you can't do that.
Nah, that'll work. Yeah, it was what the fuck was it? Yeah, it was. It expired, and I was like, I don't care. It's fucking.
You were like, it expired like a year and a half ago. There.
Yeah, it was ibuprofen. And I was like, I don't give a shit. It's still gonna work. Yeah, because I'm a hero. Just like the heroes and villains trios match. So we had our EVPs and Takeshita taking on Bandito, which is Spanish for the bandit. And then the nerds. That's what I think I'm just going to call them. I'm not going to call them Paragon. I'm going to call Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly the nerds.
I wish there was only two of them because I'd call them a pair of nerds.
Yeah. You know what we should get? Because it's not that long of a clip, so we could never even get sued or anything like that. But in Revenge of the Nerds, that one guy that gets
we used to have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Nerds. Yeah. That we need that.
We used to have that. We don't have it anymore. No.
Yeah, we need that one again.
I got to find that again. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah, the nerds. Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. And what do we get here? Fun. We get fun in the sun.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wrestle here, right? There's,
And everyone's great. I will say, with each passing week, it feels like Takeshita becomes a shooting star that is just passing us by. Because at one time, we did lose our
way with Takeshita.
He beat Kenny Omega twice in a month, and now, where is he? But again, he's getting on TV. Look, some people aren't doing that, right? So at least it's that. But what do we get here? We get the EVPs win, right? Yep, Takeshita sealed the victory with a raging fire and pinned Kyle O'Reilly. So it wasn't even the EVPs that got the victory, it was Takeshita. So at least there was that. Then post-match, we get the EVPs. They're beating up on the guys and then Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, they ambush the Bucks. There's we're gonna kick your ass. Punch, 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 and the EVPs go out. And then this is where we get some fun here. This is where Swerve stopped doing this. Okay, Swerve's the coolest guy in pro wrestling. I think it's almost a fact. It's objective, but we're close to a fact without it being proven as it can be. Until he does this bullshit thing where he's like, we're not going to be the EVPs if we beat you. We're going to give it to the fans. Shut up. That nerd. Who are you? The Paragon?
Yeah, that's unnecessary. I agree with you.
Just be like, we don't want it because it's dumb, and we think you're dumb because we're pro wrestlers.
Yeah, nobody should. You could do this. Be like, we're going to turn it back over to Tony Khan because no active wrestler should
That's
be
what I'm saying.
an EVP.
Just say, no, yeah, you shouldn't be an EVP. I shouldn't be an EVP because we're wrestling every week. So get the fuck on. Like, and then that's instead of we're giving it to the fans. No. So here's the thing. The EVPs go, hey, you keep asking this bullshit, but what do we get? So you what do we get, right? And Ospreay, and what'd you think of this? Ospreay goes, do you trust me, mate? And Swerve's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, if we lose, we won't challenge for the title for a year. And Swerve's like, the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, the fuck you don't say that? Yeah.
So what'd you think of that part of this whole post-match promo?
One thing that stuck out to me is like, to the Young Bucks, why would I still care about that? I'm not seeking that title, so like, it's a nice little thumbing in the nose to you, but like my life doesn't change materialistically any for that, right? Like I'd rather you say you're not going for any tag team titles or something like that, but it is what it is, right? Like it's pro wrestling. We're gonna take it. I think we could go there because if Hangman wins, which we all think he's gonna, it's an easy way to keep them from immediately having to write some sort of why Ospreay or Swerve aren't involved in a fight against Hangman immediately or even soon, right? A year is a long stretch. I don't get the idea that we're like, Hangman's going to hold this title a year. Maybe he does, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting twist of the storyline. It makes it a little more, how are we going to go here, right? Because now either we get new EVPs or
which
Swerve
is you.
Ospreay can't.
Yeah. Which is you. You're going to be the EVP. I'm going to be an EVP because if they're not the EVPs, we are.
We are. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like it's either we get new EVPs of Ospreay and Swerve of all people, or Ospreay and Swerve cannot, written into the bylaws, challenge for the world title for a whole year. I'm a little less likely to inclined to believe that we're going to go there because, I mean, how long are these guys on contract for, right? We're going to say that and, like, just guarantee that?
There's an interesting caveat that I wish if we really wanted to get crazy, we would have went Grand Slam and not hit a double here. We could have said, we won't challenge for any title in 1 year. Because then that's what I'm saying. Because you could say they lose.
Yeah, but I feel like that'd be too predictable. I wouldn't think we'd like actually pull that trigger on the stip.
But wouldn't it be fun? Right? Because that's the easy layup, right? Oh, EVPs win. They stay as EVPs. Swerve then goes to challenge.
Saddled with that storyline of like, because I mean, the only storyline that comes to mind with that is then like, a fucking like, why do I give a shit? Why am I even here? Like, why am I fucking wrestling? I can't get a title. Like,
I mean, again, if you want to challenge people, try new things. Because this is what I would do. I would have one person crying in their beer, right? Let's just say that is Will Ospreay. Well, what the fuck? I should just go back to London. This is all bullshit. I came here to be the best.
Bruv. Yeah.
If I can't be the best, then I don't even want to be here. Boo hoo hoo hoo. We start to hate him, right? Swerve could be, okay, motherfuckers. That means no one's number one contender until a year from now, and then from a year from now, it's me. So you think you're number one? You got to fight me. Beat you. Okay, you think you're number one? And then it's like, what the fuck? And now the champ is even like, Hangman's like, hey, man, I want to fight someone. Fight me. I can't. And then he's like, okay, well, then I guess I'm kicking his ass down next. And you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
So I think if you pull the trigger on them both just not being able to go for the world title, what you might get then is like, all right, well, then we might as well do this tag team thing. And
That's where. And then, hey, look, Hurt Syndicate versus Swerve and Osprey would be fun because, as mentioned, Lashley beat the fuck out of Swerve, and Swerve was like, okay, next guy, Ricochet, you. And it's like, hey, remember when he choked you out or made you tap or whatever it was? Like, you don't care about that anymore? Weird.
Weird.
Could be fun. Yeah, I agree with you. The part that doesn't make sense and why I think they should have went for the Grand Slam story is for the EVPs. They could just be like, well, fuck that. If you can't go for the, like you said, if they can't go for the world championship, they might be tag champs and we want to be tag champs. Now we've just made ourselves a whole mess here and we didn't even have to, you know? Yeah. I think it would have been more fun too if Prince Nana would have said it. If Prince Nana was like, oh, you want to know what you get? And then you get Swerve and Osprey being like, hey man, what? And he's like, yeah, no, I thought I was like the manager. Like I'm Swerve's manager, so I thought I'd speak for both of you.
Yeah. It still fits the characters better that Osprey did it because he's not like a smooth, cool guy.
No,
right?
No, look at that haircut.
You know what I mean? Nobody with a smooth, cool demeanor would be like, you know what? I'm going to randomly put a major roadblock to my financial prowess for a whole year on the line over this just kind of personal fight, right? I don't know.
I'm thinking here. That's why I'm quiet. Could you do this? Is the thing that finally gets Swerve over the hump is losing this match. So earlier in the night, EVPs beat Swerve and Osprey. And then the EVPs at the end of the night are like, no, we love it when Moxley's champion. We're going to keep him that. And Swerve says, oh, that's what you want? Then I'm going to get, could be that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, so now with Hangman as the champ, we don't have to, as long as Hangman's going to be champion, because at most he would be the champ for a year, and it's going to be less than that. We never have to touch Swerve and Hangman again, right? Like we don't have to immediately pull that trigger again because the next time should matter, right? Like, I mean, it should mean something. This might feel forced if it was like, well, because one of them's champion. No, now we gotta.
Well, yeah, and that could be the thing that like now they're okay and they go their other ways because Swerve has to wait, and then Hangman is the champ. So
or they still hate each other, and Swerve's like, "You motherfucker, I want to beat your ass," and be like, "Well, wouldn't that be fun for you?" But your dumbass saddled up with Osprey and let him talk.
And Osprey's like, "Hey,"
and he'd be like, "What? What did I say?"
Hey. Yeah, and he's like, "Well, you want to challenge for it? Oh, you can't either." Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, you want to challenge for it? Well, you can't either." So I guess you guys both
what are you gonna do about it?
But all right, so then we get our second.
What if it was like then they work themselves where it's like, all right, Swerve gets a match, but it's like Hangman can only lose and vacate the title, but Swerve can't win it.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be fun. Stakes. All right, so then we get our second Heroes versus Villains tag match sponsored by Superman. And it is Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus LFI's Juralistico and the Beast Mortos.
That's what it was. It's Beast Mortos. His mask is changing with the frequency of the Ultimate Warrior's belts. That's what it was. That's what made me think that.
Man.
Did you see the cooler?
Yes, 1,000% it was. And did you see this video that he did with Mercedes?
No.
It's this like, you know, when like you take a movie clip and then like you talk like with it and then you do your own thing. Have you seen those things? It's the Beast Mortos and Mercedes. And I was like, no, you wrong.
They're still hiding his face and everything too?
Yes. But it's like, you roar.
Roar. Yeah.
You don't. Roar.
Yeah.
Because I don't even hate that like they've acknowledged it. But yeah, when she's like, hey, did you see me throw that champagne at Luther? What'd you think, baby? And he's just like, roar. Like,
yeah.
That would be like,
yeah. You can change up the roar, right?
Yes. That's the thing. Yeah. But anyhow, man, he's so fucking cool. Look at that. That's how he used to look right there.
Yeah, the mask, man. The new mask just ain't it. I don't know.
The new mask
man.
makes
And I
him
know,
look
like
like
now it's
a
changing colors, but
yeah, and it just looks. I don't know. It looks like a fucking Disney version of a villain.
yeah,
You know,
it's just not. I don't like it.
if they made Beauty and the Beast for live action, it would wear that mask from last night.
No, he is a henchman if we made a new Thundercats live action movie.
Yeah. Yep. I mean.
Yep.
Anyhow.
The horns.
But I will say this.
I know, he should steal to get the horns. Anyway,
yeah.
Get the horns back.
I will say, he came in like that. I got that raw energy because he ran in there and said, I'm punching both you motherfuckers at the same time.
Big raw energy is a shirt that would sell, man.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. And we get a good old wrestle match here. Now, I will say this, plus for AEW, obviously Swerve and Ospreay get the victory, but they don't pin the Beast Mortos. So, yes, there's a step in the right direction, okay? Because
maybe you're right. Maybe somebody got in Tony's ear and said, hey,
get him on TV, but he doesn't have to lose.
Yeah, he doesn't got to lose
the actual
every
match.
time, Tony.
Yeah. So
maybe
we
she
got
was the one who was like, you know what looks cool if you change the color of your mask. Then it's like you're a whole different character.
Yeah, and then you know how many action figures you could get out of it? And he's like, okay. All right, is that guess what I'm doing?
This guy in Kansas City in his basement will buy it every time.
I will, every fucking time. Yeah.
That's why you're really upset that he changes. Now you got to buy the new action figure.
Gotta get another one. You
here, Tom.
Well, the shoe fits. I'll wear it. Is that what they say?
All I'll say to that is rawr.
Rawr, yeah. And then we get into our main event. And it is for the AEW Continental Championship, I believe. Okada Ibushi versus Ibushi. And, okay. I'll say this. I was most shocked that Don Callis didn't interfere or Takeshita came out and fucked with Ibushi. It was just, no, Okada's better. So here it is. And watch him pin him. Ha-ha.
Yep.
Like, that's what I thought was most
interesting. But Ibushi's been out with some sort of injury for a long time, I gather, right, from the interwebs. And so it was good to see him return to what looked like, full form, as it were, because he put on a lot of moves in this wrestling match.
Yeah, and everyone, again, that's like, oh, it's not 2018. But okay, it's not. People get older. Yep. Funny how that works,
Yeah, most of you do.
Yeah, and that, because you know what it sounds like when I was reading those things while I was on Blue Sky? Dude, this band's coolest music was their first EVP when I watched them at a bar in front of like 30 people. Like this new thing that's like in front of the biggest audience that they've ever had.
Green Day was cooler before the Dookie album.
Yeah.
Which, even if you have merit in your argument, it's like
you sound like an idiot. You sound like an idiot.
Like, okay, hipster.
Right. Yeah. What's that? What's the hipster joke? How did the hipster?
Why they burn their their tongue at the restaurant?
Yeah,
it's before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. So then post match is where we get some fun. So Okada wins. Then all the Don Callis family beat up on old Ibushi, which brings out the returning Kenny Omega. Dun, 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 dun. He came out to the cool music too. I don't like that. I know that like someone with a video game made the new one. It ain't it. The original, that's it. I like that one. And he came out to that one and chases off the Don Callis family. And we get a reunion of the Golden Lovers.
Shirtless reunion.
Hell yeah. That's how it should be. Yeah. And that was your Dynamite. But what'd you think of the returning Omega?
I mean, are we just going to not address that the man you've all told us if he took one bad blow to the stomach could end his career/life was last seen puking blood from taking said blow And in 2 weeks is back with no visible signs from a surgery, repairs.
Nope.
Just fine.
Didn't lose any weight from, lack of food or anything like that. Nope.
Apparently cleared to be here.
Well,
on.
Now again, sometimes you can be at the arena even if you're not cleared. Remember when Hangman was trying to beat up Moxley?
Have on
nothing.
The rib tapes, man. You put in the rib tape.
Yeah, you
got
at least
that by rolls under the ring next to the fucking kendo sticks, man.
Yep, Pro Wrestling 101. If your ribs hurt, you have to tape them.
You get a tape.
Stomach
tape
hurts.
Them up, and that helps. It helps. You tape them up.
Yeah, because the thing that
it was KT tape before it was cool.
Yeah.
Hipster KT tape is all that is, Tom.
Because I mean, honestly, if you got a tummy ache, what you do, you don't take Tums, you tape it up. You get the KT tape,
right?
And you put that all around your belly.
It's all about compression.
Yeah,
compression, and then you get some blue light. You know what I mean?
Red light. Yeah. Cryo chamber. Hey, you know what you guys? You know what you should do? Yeah, you know what you should do every day is waste a ton of ice and just sit into an ice bath for 2.5 minutes.
Tom.
Nope. Don't need to.
Rest in peace, Don West. But you could bring the voice bag with RFK Jr.
Well, you talking to that? I'm going to be doing Don West. Oh boy, I tell you what.
In fact, I think it was a more accurate RFK this whole time than it was Don West.
Yeah, I need to get back. I'll need to practice it again. I was on the spot. I tell you what, there we got the best prices in the world. Oh boy, I tell you what, 2-for-1 shirt prices. Oh yeah, you get that, you get some COVID. Oh, I tell you, there we go, brother. Rest in peace.
Yeah. So now you just got to start talking about holistic remedies and health camps.
You know what the worst thing in the world is a vaccine shot, brother. Yeah.
Don brother.
Yeah, no, he will. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Well, he's working with Linda McMahon. Eventually, it'll fucking rub off.
Yeah,
on
that's
him,
right. Yeah, I think she calls people brother, and it's uncomfortable for people.
God.
Like, well, that's what the guy's saying.
Her fucking face looks like a Picasso painting now, doesn't it? Fucking, it looks like.
Did you see her refer to it as A1 when talking about AI?
Yep, that was the last time I saw the news.
We're fucked, man.
Yeah,
that was the last time. That's when you turned the news off for the last time. You're like, you know what?
Don't need that anymore. Bye bye. Yeah, her face looks like a well-drawn Mona Lisa style painting that was left in the rain. You know, where it's like it's smeared. It's like it's almost there.
It was well drawn. It was. Yeah. And at one point, a fine piece of art.
Yeah. Not anymore. It's fun to make fun of the bullies of the world. And I'll always do it. So yeah, that was Dynamite. Also Saturday night, we're getting Collision 100, which always just makes me think of CM Punk. They need to rename the show. Rename it. I know,
Mr. Apologist.
Yeah. Hey guys, I didn't, brother. He talks as if he wasn't recorded saying shit on them for years. It wasn't one.
Yeah, as if that one tweet was just like some lapse of judgment.
Yeah, brother. We see your Barstool interviews. We've seen your fucking AEW interviews and promos. Shut your mouth, you whore.
Was he a fraud from day one, and did he know he was a fraud from day one?
This is a fun conversation to wrap up. I don't think when he started, I think he had imposter syndrome, which is different. It's I want to be this and I'm not. So I'm gonna immerse myself.
I'm gonna
immerse myself into
the culture. I'm gonna full.
Right. I think, though, there was a moment, and I don't know when that was. I think, though, that there was a moment when he goes, this is making me some money and attention. Well, I don't even really give a shit about
cheering
this.
My name
I don't even really give a shit. It's easier if I just take the people who want to make money off of Straight Edge and just fucking sell out to that.
Just go to some protests and act like I'm...
Yeah. because I had this argument with someone on Discord, and it wasn't the fun Discord. It was another Discord channel I'm on. Because they're like, so
Was it
anyone
the
that
secret
works
public Discord server?
yeah, it wasn't that one. Because I was talking to him about CM Punk and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and these individuals like that. And I was like, yeah, I feel like they work for the NRA and then say guns don't need to be in school. It's like, no, you can't say two things at the same time. And they said, oh, so just anyone that wants to be a wrestler and gets offered a job from WWE, they just automatically are discredited. I said, no, but there is a certain threshold of when you are a popular wrestler and you have offers from other companies that, yeah, then you can make those decisions that says, I'll take $500,000 less because now I'm not going to Saudi Arabia.
And particularly the names you mentioned had a chance before what we've seen in the news where supposedly AEW is being more picky about who they might sign.
Mm-hmm.
You all had a chance to do what Mercedes Moné did and probably get overpaid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or get paid more than WWE was going to pay you. And so that was a bit more of a personal choice then, right? Like it was, I'm going to take the less money for other reasons, right? There's other benefits they're probably providing. And so again, it's like,
Mm-hmm. By the way, speaking of WWE, last note I'll say is I work with a coworker who somehow she went to Wimbledon this week. She's at Wimbledon in the fictitious country of England, and yep. Well, she was a former.
Like you didn't know she was getting out.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe a boat. Who knows?
All right.
But she was at a match where John Cena was there. And she texted me. She's like, hey, John Cena's here. I said, tell him to fuck off. And she goes, I thought you would like him. I said, I don't fucking like that cocksucker. I go, if you do see him, don't say any of that stuff. Because I was like, LOL, don't tell anything. But I go, if you do see him, tell him, hey, it's great to see you. Yawn Cena. And yawn when you do it. Yawn Cena.
She says, I thought you'd like him. Tell him, you better think again before you think that thought again.
Yeah. If you're anything like me, and I know I am, you ain't going to think that thought again.
Better shut your mouth when you're talking to me is one I
All right. This is what I was going to say. Let's get back on AEW real quick. I think the way too early prediction that we're going to see at All In, I think we're going to see a returning Jack Perry, and I think we're going to see a returning Britt Baker. And balloons. I think that's what we're going to see. That's my way too early prediction.
But not Darby Allin.
I think Darby Allin, they need to hold on to for the Dynamite after. I feel, and maybe I'm right or wrong, I don't know, that All In is kind of their WrestleMania, and where after WrestleMania, we reset all the stories. That's what we're going to do here, and that's where Darby comes back. Who's that?
It's the Orange Cassidy. You saw that news.
Yeah, he torn his pec. Well, he was supposed to be at the convention I was at this weekend. Yeah. Because by the way, so I met Sting. Did I say that? I met Sting. I also met the Steiner. Yeah, I also met the Steiner brothers.
Steiner brothers have a picture of you.
Yeah. Funny story. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. So I walk up to meet him. I got there early because I got the VIP pass because I wasn't going to wait in line like a poor. And so I walk up to him, and they're like, "Hey, that's a cool shirt." And I was like, thanks, man. They're like, did you make it? I was like, oh, fuck no. And he's like, do you know who did? And I was like, no, I got it as a gift, which is legit. I wasn't lying or anything. I was like, no, I got it as a gift. Mm-hmm. And then Scott Steiner was like, can I take a picture of that? And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. So I'm just pulling my shirt so he can like take a, and he's like doing like the old man, you know what I mean? The like, doing one of those.
How do I take a picture on this thing?
Yeah. And he took 3 or 4 pictures of that. I will say, and I know, and I didn't want to get into it because you pick your battles when it's appropriate. The Rick Steiner recent news I was aware of, so I didn't get into any, things. But I will say, both of them were very pleasant, very personable. They held a conversation as if they wanted to talk to you. I have met dozens and dozens of wrestlers, athletes, actors, all these people
who just want you to thank them for the memories and shake and then move on.
Right. Them, Actually, all 4. And it wasn't his fault. The only one that was probably the least personable, but it was because they had 7 times the line, was Sting, because I was early into that line, and I could see him kind of look and was like, yeah, this is going to be like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And so I got that, very nice. The one thing that he did say about this picture, so I handed it to him. I was like, hey, man, thank you so much for coming. I was like, I always ask him, I'm like, that era of wrestlers, like, hey, you got any like Kansas City memories? He's, oh, Harley, going to Harley's, I was like, oh yeah, that's great, and then he's like kind of looking around at the picture, and then he looks at me, he goes, hard to sign. And then he signs it because it is. There's a lot of color and stuff, and he's just like, hard to sign.
Yeah. You can't, because they've got all those multicolored markers for just such an occasion, but here you are with a fucking multicolored stripe.
Yeah, and he's just like, hard to sign. And then the other funny one was Kevin Nash. He was drinking a Fairlife protein shake, vanilla protein shake. And I don't know if I've told you this, but I have the newest, greatest concoction of energy protein that the man has ever known. Is you get a big, that's the best, but legal. You get a Quick Trip cup, right? The big cube Quick Trip cup, or just a big fucking cup if you're not from the greatest place on the earth, wherever you're from, Rancho Cucamonga. You get a big fucking cup. Then you get the Fairlife vanilla protein shake. You dump that in. Then you get the Ghost energy drink. And then this is where you can freestyle it. I like orange. They've got peach. They got all the, apple, I think, all that shit, right? Get it whatever flavor it is, but you get the Ghost energy drink. You put that in with the protein shake. Don't shake it up because it'll explode. Made that mistake. Just stir it, and then you drink it. Tastes like an orange-sicle, and then you get a little protein, which makes you feel full, and then you get a little zit and makes you feel good. That's the way to go. Anyhow, he had the Fairlife vanilla protein shake, and I was like, hey, man, you should mix that with Ghost energy. And he's like, with what? I was like, with Ghost energy. And he goes, oh, I thought you said something else. He goes, I'm too fucking old for those energy drinks. I was like, fair enough.
Which is true. Theo P says, is it true when Kevin Nash walks, you can hear his knee making a clicking sound?
Everyone made that joke. He walked from this side. So everyone was entering from the other side, like the black curtain. So like Britt Baker was also there, Ty Mello, Sammy Guevara. I wasn't going to meet those people. I already met Britt Baker. But Kevin Nash came from the other side. And as he was walking, everyone's like, whoo. And everyone was like, think his quad's going to rip? Think his quad's going to rip? And I was like, God damn, guys. Like, you take steroids.
Wouldn't that be
funny? Yeah.
Theo P also said, when I get the chance to meet Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, I want to ask him what happened to all his freaks from WCW.
Ask him, hey, you got that picture of Thomas from Kansas City, and say, put the fucking location on your phone, and be like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I made this shirt back in the day, and I heard somebody saying you were asking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Oh, man.
All right, this is fun.
This is fun. We got a holiday tomorrow, so it's not a school night. So I'm going to go up there and play some video games and reorganize my nerd wrestling collection.
That new college football game coming out in a few days.
I gave up on it. I know that I was just like,
yeah. Supposedly they've made some improvements. We'll see how.
Oh no. The game itself was fine, but I was just like, I don't care if Missouri beats Kansas.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, you're not a college sports guy. Yeah. Yeah, man. We're gonna go do things on the holiday. I don't know that we're gonna do holiday things, but we're gonna do things on the holiday tomorrow. But we encourage you to join us here next week, and the next week after that, and make sure you also tune in on the 24th.
Come on,
it'll be our 12-year anniversary.
Come on.
Until next week.
Piss off then.